Okay, so let's see what else I have in my bag. Here's a natural tinder that we can use that's gonna work a lot the same as the jute twine. This is a stick of basswood or linden tree, and the bark of this tree, it peels off pretty readily, and the name basswood comes from an old or middle French word that means fiber. And put that twig aside for now. So you've got, you know, this kind of coarse outer bark, but then the inner bark, you can maybe see why it's called basswood, because it peels into these fibers really readily. What we're gonna do with it is just peel these pieces apart, and we want to get it as broken down as possible, separated down. And there's lots of ways we can do that. We can kind of, you know, one thing I can do is like I'll wrap it around my finger or something, just to start it breaking down, and just keep peeling those pieces off, peel them off, peel them off. Now you can leave this, this outer bark will just like fall off on its own usually. You don't have to go to a great deal of trouble to get it off of there. But that's not what makes the nice tinder bundle that we want. So you can see this is a little bit more work to get to where we want to be than the jute twine was. But the cool thing about this is, you know, instead of buying it at the hardware store, we can find this right out here in the woods. So I'm keeping at it. I want all these bigger pieces broken down. If I can. So roll it, twist it, roll it, twist it, and we're getting there. There's still some chunks, and some of those won't hurt. Just don't want too many. So that's a pretty decent little tinder bundle. Now, one mistake, you know, you don't want the tinder bundle packed either too tight or too loose. So fire needs oxygen. It needs some airflow in there. But if it's too loose, you know, it's just gonna kind of fall apart. So make our little bird's nest, and let's give this a whirl. Okay. Well, shoot, that we had a flame in it and it went out. There we go. All right. So partly because it was, I think I got in a hurry and didn't break it down as much as I could have, but this was a little harder to ignite than the jute, but that's fine. Okay, we'll get rid of that one. Let's see what else we have here. Okay, here's a fun one. A piece of birch bark. If you have these trees in your area, my goodness, what a good fire starting resource. So what we usually do with this, and I don't have birch that grows native around me, but I do have. I see it a lot as a landscaping tree, and so I use it. Okay, so what I like to do is just scrape it a little bit with my knife, and then we'll. Okay. Okay, so probably the most advanced way that I'm going to show you to start a fire with a ferro rod is going to be igniting shavings, wood shavings. So and when you're making these shavings, you want them nice and small, kind of curly. And I like to leave at least some of them right on the stick that I'm carving. Now, these twigs that I'm using are pretty small. So a lot of times it'll work better for you if you use something longer and if you use something a little bigger. And what we're doing when we make these curls is we're just cutting, basically finding a corner and cutting it off. Oh, I dropped it. And then we get these nice little, call these feather sticks or fuzz sticks. And let's see if we can't get one of these to ignite really quick. There we go. And the real trick here is that, this is really a knife skill. Getting those feathers. So we can talk about the knife use in a future video. Okay, so that's it for now for ferro rod fire lighting. Your homework, if you want to work on this on your own, is to just mess around with it. Find some things to light, and see what you can get to light with just the spark from a Ferro Rod. It can feel hard at first. Don't be afraid to use things like cotton balls. The old kind of standby emergency fire starter is cotton balls with petroleum jelly on them. Don't be afraid to experiment though. Waxed paper works real well to take a spark. You can wad up like a paper towel. That works real well to take a spark. And get used to using it. And then don't forget to have fun with it too. You can light super glue. There is a brand of potato chip that works well. You can either experiment or you can Google it if you want to spoil the surprise. But so you can light your food on fire, and mess around with different natural tinders too. See if you can get some dry grass to light or something like that. So there's a lot of stuff you can do with this. It's a staple in a lot of people's fire kits, and it is for a reason. It works when it's wet. It works with a gross motor skill, so it really is pretty easy to use, and you can have a lot of fun with it. So let me know if you have any questions, and stay tuned for the next phase of fire lighting.